Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I am going to explain a Japanese splatter gore film called The Machine Girl. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. At the beginning of the film, a bunch of high schoolers are bullying a poor kid. They put an apple on his head and aim it with a knife, disregarding how harmful it can be to the target. The group is interrupted when a girl named Amy stops them. She speaks up against the bullies and tries to help the other guy. Amy then shows them a picture of her and her late brother Yu, who died because of bullying. He was murdered by a similar group of guys who thought troubling the weaker ones was fun. The bullies do not fancy her trying to teach them a lesson. Their leader tries to stop her and launches at her with a knife. Amy pulls out a sickle and cuts his hand off without a second thought. His friends freak out at the sight and are about to run away when Amy reveals her left arm is also missing. This makes them believe they can easily beat her. They use their knives to attack her and are surprised when Amy brings out a machine gun. Using her cut-off hand to hold it, she ambushes the entire group. After their death, she approaches the scared guy who was being bullied earlier. She asks him if he is okay, but the guy doesn't want her sympathy. To him, she is a cold-hearted murderer. Cut to 6 months earlier, Amy is with her friend practicing basketball at school. She is happy and cheerful, the complete opposite of her future self. After school, she and her younger brother Yu walk home together. The brother and sister share a healthy relationship and love each other dearly. Yu playfully begs Amy for money because he is dying to buy a new video game. Amy is reluctant and only agrees when he promises to do all of the chores for her. At night, we find out that the money is not really for a video game. Yu meets his best friend, Takeshi, who has also lied to his mother for money. They nervously go to a gang's hideout and hand over the cash. The gang's leader is a ruthless guy named Kimura. He sees that the money is less than what he expected from the two. As a result, both Yu and Takeshi are beaten and insulted by the gang. They take the hits, scared that retaliation will cause more problems. While the others are busy beating them up, the gang leader, Kimura, burns their money. His only intention was to assert his dominance over them. Even still, he could have kept that money. The following morning, Amy surprises Yu with his favorite breakfast. The siblings live alone because their parents passed away a while ago. It turns out that they committed the unthinkable after falsely being accused of murder. Amy notices the bruises on Yu's face and asks him how he got them. She is worried for him, but he tries to dismiss the conversation altogether. However, upon being repeatedly asked, he tells her that he fought some guys yesterday. Amy fails to comprehend the severity of the situation and ends the conversation by asking him to stay away from aggressive people. Kimura's father, Ryuji, is a gruesome mafia leader who is very uptight about family traditions. He trains his son to fight so he would one day become as cruel as his forefathers. He even makes Kimura drink his blood so he would inherit the animalistic nature of his family. The only thing drinking that's going to make him inherit is AIDS. By that day, they are interrupted by their house servant, who has come to ask them for breakfast. Ryuji believes her presence makes the tradition unfruitful and glows red in anger. A while later, we see Kimura about to join his gang outside. On his way out, he greets his mother, who cheerfully wishes him a good day. But right after, she kills the servant brutally as a punishment for interrupting Ryuji earlier. In the following scene, we see Yu go to Takeshi's house. The guys meet, but Takeshi's mother, Miki, orders her son to stay away from Yu, whose parents were murderers. She doesn't want her son to be friends with a bad influence. The boys decide to ignore her and walk away. A while later, Amy and her friend are outside the academy after basketball practice. As they talk, they notice Yu and Takeshi running in the street. Seconds later, Kimura and his group follow behind, cursing the two. Amy realizes her brother is in trouble and runs to save them. However, before she gets to them, a group of perverted men block her way. They think it will be easy to dominate someone so petite, but she proves them wrong by showcasing excellent self-defense skills. Meanwhile, in the hideout, Kimura and his gang have captured Takeshi and Yu and are asking them for more money. However, the two have been drained of all their pocket money and have nothing to give them. Kimura starts insulting Amy, which infuriates Yu. He stands up against the leader for the first time and tries to attack, but Kimura is able to dodge him easily. In the end, Kimura and his people throw the poor guys off the building and kill them. When Amy finally arrives, she finds her brother's dead body on the ground and is devastated. She screams, sobs, and cries, mourning his death. A few days later, she gathers up enough courage to go to Takeshi's house and pay condolence to his parents. However, Miki blames Yu and Amy for her son's death. Their deaths have been declared a case of self-harm without proper investigation. Amy tries telling Miki and her husband, Suguru, that someone might have killed Takeshi. However, Miki is not in a mood to listen. On returning home, Amy goes through her brother's belongings and finds a journal. In it, Yu has described his sufferings in detail. Amy cannot help but break down into tears after reading it. Although Yu hasn't mentioned the names of the bullies, he has mentioned the gang member Ryota in the journal. The very next day, she goes to Ryota's house, asking him if he knows who the gang leader is. Ryota disregards her concerns and walks away after saying he is sorry about Yu's death. Ryota's father has realized that Amy is against his son. When he finds out that she has evidence of Ryota's involvement in the murder, he attempts to kill her to keep his son from being convicted. His wife also joins and puts Amy's hand into the hot pan of oil on the stove. In the end, Amy manages to throw hot water on Ryota's father's face and run away for her life. The same night, Amy sneaks into Ryota's room through the window. She holds a sickle to his neck and urges him to reveal who the gang leader is. Scared for his life, the guy confirms that Kimura killed her brother. Amy thanks him for the information by cutting his neck. In the kitchen, his mother is busy cooking when the lights suddenly go off. When they turn back on, she discovers her son's severed head. Amy appears behind her then and stabs her to death. Then she makes Ryota's father bathe in his son's blood before walking away. Badass. In the following scene, Ryuji and his family are enjoying dinner together. A new chef accidentally drops a bowl of soup on Kimura. The family does not tolerate the slightest form of disrespect, even when it is accidental. As punishment, Kimura's mother Violet makes the chef cut off all of his own fingers and eat them. Kimura then excuses himself to go to the washroom. To his surprise, he finds a guard with his neck severed and sees Amy on the ceiling. She jumps on him and is seconds away from ending his life before his father and the guards stop him. Violet attacks first, followed by the guards who shower her with blades. Amy somehow manages to defend herself and catches Kimura yet again. Just as she raises her hand to kill him, Ryuji throws a sword and stabs her arm to the wall. In the following scene, her hands are tied to the ceiling while the guards beat her brutally. Violet wants her husband to kill her instantly, but he wants Amy to feel the worst pain and wish she were dead. Firstly, he cuts off all her fingers, then accidentally cuts her left arm as well. She screams in pain and agony while the family of gangsters smiles at her. A while later, Violet sends a guard to end the girl's life once and for all. Amy skillfully traps him in between her legs and kills him before escaping. The next morning, everyone from the gang finds out about the death and Amy's escape. Violet is furious at her husband for not killing the girl when he had the chance. With no one to turn to, Amy goes to Takeshi's house, hoping that his parents will understand her problems. They find her passed out outside of their shop. They quickly bring her inside and dress her wounds, eventually helping her heal from the injuries. A few weeks later, she recovers completely and tells Miki the cause of her son's death. She manages to persuade her to help kill the murderers, and the two begin to train starting then. Miki's husband is a skilled mechanic who wants to turn her severed hand into a more dangerous weapon. He modifies a machine gun that can fit in her left hand and help her fight. A few days into the practice, Miki goes around the neighborhood to spy on the gangsters. She finds out that Ryuji and his family have moved away from their old residence, and no one knows where they are currently. Miki is unaware that she is being watched by one of Ryuji's guards. She returns home and tells Amy everything. As they discuss their next step, they are attacked by a bunch of gangsters sent by Ryuji. But now that the two are trained, they are able to fight back. Amy fits the machine gun in her hand before firing several rounds. The place turns into a bloodbath as many gangsters are killed in gruesome ways. Amidst the chaos, Miki's husband is killed by the enemies after being cut into pieces. Fearing the gun, the guards run away, but the girls hold one of them as a hostage. They torture him over the next few days and forcefully make him reveal where Ryuji and his family is. After that, we see him driving the duo to the family's new address. They had thought it would be a surprise attack, but the Ryuji's warriors are ready to retaliate. They stand in front of the girls in football gear, blocking their way. A fight ensues between the two, but using their new powers, Miki and Amy are able to beat the rivals one after another. With no other options left, Ryuji steps into the battlefield with his weapon. He aims it at Amy, but Miki rushes to her before it hits. As a result, Miki is hit, and her leg is severed. She starts bleeding and screaming in pain, but still refuses to give up. She encourages Amy to fulfill the purpose of their training and avenge everyone who troubled her brother. Amy takes the advice and goes after Ryuji. When Miki is alone, one of Ryuji's men attacks her. She cannot fight him in her condition, so she thinks of a better plan. She attaches a chainsaw to her leg and attacks him with it, resulting in a bloodied death. But shortly after, she also dies, after losing a lot of blood. In the meantime, Amy finally finds Ryuji and hits him with her gun, causing his immediate death. Now, the only person she has to end is the one who killed her brother. She returns to Miki and is devastated that the only person she had left is also gone. With renewed motivation, she grabs the chainsaw and makes her way, looking for Kimura and Violet. Initially, she finds Violet and attacks her with the chainsaw. But, to her surprise, the machine doesn't work. Violet undresses and reveals that her special weapon is a bra made out of iron that protects her and acts like a drill. This is goddamn ridiculous at this point. She hugs Amy, causing the bra to drill through her skin and bleed. She is seconds away from ending her life when Amy attacks her back, causing a slight malfunction in the weapon. Kimura sees his mother struggling and runs to her, only to be beheaded by Amy. She does the same to Violet and finally takes her revenge. In the end, she tells Yu's spirit that everything is over. He stands nearby, watching over her and applauding because this movie is over. Applauding her bravery. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.